Hello, everyone. Richard here. I'm going to show you my second attempt at Stalingrad. I also recorded myself while playing it, so if you want to see a few of the things that happen while I'm typically playing, I can show you. Now, it doesn't quite capture the feel because I didn't do anything ambitious. I didn't actually do anything ambitious on this map. My first attempt on this map was a disaster. I linked up the southern group with the northern group, and then I made a push to try to get here, and I got stopped in this region, and I was unable to get the capturable unit, and I kind of abandoned this entire section I didn't fight for, and I only really took this stuff, but it wasn't worth it. I didn't really gain a lot from it. My second attempt, I'm actually fighting down here, but I don't really do a lot with it. It just feels extremely dangerous, let's put it that way, and I want to save my prestige for later scenarios. There's a couple of things that I found on the map. A couple of the planes ran out of fuel, so I didn't have to deal with them. So you can probably bring... I honestly think you could bring you could bring 0 fighters and maybe your 88 gun. And if you take the southern airfield and the northern airfield, I think they run out of fuel. That's something that might be worth experimenting with, since fighters are mostly useless on this map. There might be a way to not bring them at all. Oh, I need to stop this. This is way too fast. This needs to go down. A couple of things. I planned on taking 2 artillery and paratroopers and a scout to clean this up, and then a lot of infantry with a couple tanks to clean this up, and then I sent a force this way to do some work. I did have a couple units that got badly damaged from me being an idiot, but so that's the plan. And then a smaller group will go north, linked up with some Italians, to surrender or capture all of this, and then we'll move south. And that's it, really. I basically take... I think I take all of this. There are so many units on this map. Whoa, what is happening here? This is weird. I think I broke Panzer Corps. Okay, let's stop. Okay. That was weird. I thought it was repeating turn 1. There's so many freaking units that you can't tell. I'm legitimately curious, has anyone ever managed to mostly wipe the map and get almost to the back? Because I wonder if it's possible. Soren did the most work and he didn't come close, so... There comes my paratroopers. It's faster to fly them. And I plan on sending a ton of Italians north to bolster my forces. And then I plan on setting a fighter trap. I put a lot of heavy artillery in the south because I thought that there would be more heavy armor for some reason. I'm not the brightest bulb, what can I say? I should have put 2 of those up north. Double tap. And just like that, it's wiped out. That is a lot of armor. So the reason I put the Italian unit there was to set fighter traps, but the AI bombed the infantry first, which exposed all the traps. So I lost that infantry for nothing. So you can safely advance, just don't go next to the tank. It's a really bad idea. Movement +1. Actually, movement on artillery is really useful. I have so many movement +1s. I haven't gotten a single ranged, which is unusual. And I don't know, I just was surprised that the planes went there. It just didn't make sense to me, but then I realized they had that airfield, and I take the airfield away. But then I realized it didn't matter because they had no fuel to get to the airfield. So apparently, these planes are completely dead after turn 3. Here goes the other infantry. I was not expecting that, but there you have it. Oh, by taking the airfield away, the planes just froze. I don't know why the planes didn't move. Yeah, it's pretty boring. I do a lot of de-entrenchment. I just don't accomplish much. It's really dangerous to accomplish something, because then the infantry get out of hand. So my experience on this map is that it's really easy for the enemy to overwhelm a unit. And then there's these indestructible units. Like, what the fuck? Can you guys believe this? It's just so ridiculous. So then my Stug gets badly damaged because I'm trying to... Like, it was absurd how hard it was to kill one of those. It took every one of my units. That was the most frustrating part of playing Stalingrad. So I have a badly damaged Stug, and it's 200 prestige to give him elite replacements. So I just pulled it out of the battle. However, the fighters were useful for de-entrenchment, so I was de-entrenching ahead of time before hitting with artillery. So the fighters weren't useless. You could definitely make an argument for keeping them. I'm being really cautious here because sometimes infantry activate and then they hurt you. Yeah, and because of this awkwardness in the south, a second unit effectively got taken out of the battle. So the whole southern push was a disaster. I had to reload here because this T-34 was just damaging me ridiculous amounts. And it was really aggravating. I couldn't get any suppression with all this heavy artillery. It was nonsensical. So by turn 6, all ambitions in the south were abandoned. Yeah, it's, oh, this is really cool. This tank in the city is so powerful, it just 10-shot my Italian units that were entrenched at 3. So that tank is not a joke. So I'm beginning the process of linking up with the middle group. And now I block the tank in completely. But I made a mistake. I should have put my Stug behind the Panzer III, and I think I would have come out of that really well, but I wasn't thinking it at the time. So one of the things that's hard about this map is if you watch someone play it on Rommel, they typically bait units out, and they can also send units like Wernsberger and Oladir to hold key junctions, but I don't think those conditions hold anymore. I think SMG will attack Oladir without artillery support, Wernsberger without artillery support, so a lot of the ideas that you would have for accelerating the collapse of the pocket, it doesn't really work. I have no idea what Bracada and Goose will do when they get here, because a lot of ideas. I would love to see Soren try this, because he does a lot of baiting to pull the enemy out, but I don't think a lot of it will work because it's difficult to set up blocks. My Stugs will get attacked by infantry, for instance, and if I leave an infantry unit anywhere without artillery support, I'm fucked. Even though I do that a couple of times, I don't recommend it. So there's some extra prestige at these flags, which I will definitely grab. So you're going to see my strategy for how to deal with this tank. Drain it so it has one ammo, hit it with an auxiliary, and now it's done. I am sending Pine in, but notice that I put a Stug behind him. Now I've drained out of ammo. If you're wondering what I'm doing with those rebels, I'm basically farming for kills and squeezing a little extra prestige out at the same time. Yay, I got another defense hero on artillery. Yeah. Just super boring, taking my time. These tanks are really annoying. By the way, I did not break soft cap. And then I experienced bad luck with the 88 gun. That was not... That must have been a 100 roll to damage my 88. So all my elite infantry are in the south, which is why I'm not pushing that hard in the north. But I basically lost a couple of key units in my southern push, so I didn't push very hard. And I'm using the Italian units as bait to protect my flanks, and I think that worked really well. So my scout car is about to take a beating. However, my scout car was doing really well. And then that happened, with no artillery support. That's what the Italian units are there for. So now I have to protect. So my brilliant idea was double protect my infantry with artillery, so I could use the Stug to protect my pioneers in the south. We shall see how well that worked out. And then you have the fun time of trying to dig out these infantry. Yeah, SMG infantry are really, really difficult to kill. So I have no idea what Prakata's gonna do. These guys at 15 strength feel like T-34 43s. Ambush. Yay. So the T-34 failed. That was really nice. And then they fell for the auxiliary bait to protect my troops. And that is how you get it done. Double bait. Double bait. Cripple the infantry. So now I drain the ammo on the T-34. I waste the weak anti-tank to drain the last shot. And now I can have a field day attacking it. That, my friends, is how you do it. I'm playing like a coward because your units can get destroyed really easily. So notice that one of those tanks has no ammo, and the other one is not doing great. Now my entire air force comes. So I'm out of vision range after that. Nice T-34. It'd be a shame if anything happened to it. And just like that, that counterattack was wiped out with the minimum fuss. But I had to be very careful. And I didn't realize there was a T-34 there. Whoops. But I actually come out of it mostly okay. I made a mistake on the last attack. I should have attacked with artillery first. After realizing turn 14, I completely abandoned my advance in the south. Even though I just realized I missed an open hex. I clearly wasn't thinking too hard when I played this scenario. Now I'm just mopping up. Trying to engage in combat where possible. And I just set up a solid defensive line while I wait. I don't know what it takes to get these units to move out of the city. Because you would think a Stug is a tempting target, but they didn't show any interest. So I offered them paratroopers, and that wasn't enough. I made a mistake. I should have actually killed the infantry, and then the following issue would not have happened if I had done that. Whoops. And I had really bad luck with suppression. But yeah, it's a lot of work digging out these soldiers. I was expecting the Air Force on this turn, but it never showed up, so there must be some trigger for the Air Force showing up. And I don't know what it is. And still no Air Force, so I must not have triggered them. Let's see, did the plane spawn? They never activated. I wonder what the trigger is. Look at all of this bullshit. There's literally nowhere safe to land. I missed 2 hexes. I feel really bad about that. That's 50 prestige. I just completely missed. This is my review. I have a video of me actually playing it out, so you can see kind of what I was doing. There wasn't a lot of commentary because I wasn't being very interesting. It's difficult to be interesting on this map. One thing I do notice is that you could rush up here, take the airfield, and then try to hit this. Stick Oladir here, and you might be able to get this, because they have no vision up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So nothing can hit you except for maybe these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you'd have 6 armored units. That's an interesting idea that I didn't know, that there's a gap in the lines. There might be some way to sneak in the back with a small force that's super powered, like maybe a paratroopers in Oladir. Take out the artillery, send a level bomber back here to take this out, and then you could occupy it with Oladir. Maybe if you sent a tactical bomber in Oladir this way, you take this out in one go, and then you park here with Oladir, and then use a level bomber. That could work if Oladir's a pioneer. Wow. I think I have taken this on ultimate mode. On my first attempt, I took this. This location's very doable. But this one, I think you would have to land paratroopers. I'm trying to figure out if there's actually a place you could land paratroopers. You could land here, but there's no way to sneak in. You could land here and hope these don't activate, and then next turn move in here and assign a level bomber to help you here. So this one might be possible, assuming that these don't activate, which is probably a bad assumption. And then with better planning, you can probably take this one. But this one, I don't know. That one might be a stretch. Well, until next time, Richard out.